Wow, episode 101. Boys are back. Happy New Year to everybody. We've been gone for the holidays, but we're back. I'm your boy Gabe. That's Julian over here. Say what's up to
Over here.
That's
What's
JoJo
up,
down
people?
there.
You're
And it's a brand new year, and we still got sports going on. I also like this time of year. I like the beginning. There's like the fall season, but also like the winter season because
What number is it, Gabe?
Oh, this is episode 101. Episode 101.
101. Start of a new chapter. Hit triple digits now.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody checking us out. I know it's kind of hard to get us all together, but here we are, talking sports, man. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend. I think as we head into the playoffs, we had the CFP go on. We had the four teams. Huge controversy. Julia, I don't think we ever talked too much about the CFP overall, and who they let in. Obviously they can only let four teams in to the CFP, but we saw the games happen. And overall, are you excited for this final that we're about to have?
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start off with like the championship game this Monday. I'm excited to not see an SEC team like in it at all. Like, man, when was the last time that happened? It has to have been a while. But I think it's cool to see a little bit of change, and the fact that both teams beat SEC teams in Texas and in Alabama. So yeah, I'm excited. I think Michigan might actually get it done. It's like my little quick prediction. But man, what a game by Washington and Michigan. They both incredible games in the playoffs. It's super cool to see those two teams in it, especially Washington. That's a team that hasn't even, they've been ranked, but to get into that position, like, shit, I don't even know the last time I don't ever recall in my lifetime seeing Washington even remotely close to a championship game.
Yeah. Because obviously we're going to talk about. I want to get into the controversy of the final four teams, JoJo. I don't know how much of the games you saw, but overall, did you think the four teams that they had going into the final were deserving? Do you think we had a good showing? How do you feel about this finals?
I think the committee, obviously with all the controversy aside with FSU, actually made the right decision for all four teams. If you saw both games actually came down to the last play. For the two, they're actually great matchups, a lot of back and forth. Bama earned their way in, I can say. They beat Ohio State to get in. Michigan's been dominant all season. What's his name? Michael Penix, top contender for the Heisman this year. He's been performing. He's been balling. So that's someone to watch out for in this, championship game. They did a great job. And then we're going to get into the game with FSU when they want to sit out like 40 players. Obviously, I'm exaggerating that number.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was whether to prove a point, to not prove a point. I don't know the idea behind that. I'm not entirely sure. But the four teams in, they didn't want a repeat of last year's final with Georgia winning by 50 in the final. Like, you want a good competitive game. But other than that, with all bias, besides the committee, obviously there's a lot more work and thought process they put into obviously who's going to put on a show. But I think the four best teams got in.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess we start off with that. I guess, JoJo gave his thoughts on the four that got in. Gabe, what do you think of the four do you think FSU got robbed?
You see, because now we could talk about it with results in hand about the thing, and I had a fucking overload of football, so the games were fantastic. Like, I was sitting there all day. My dad came in town, and I was watching with him. The games were fun. They go all the way to the wire. Thought I was gonna go one way, then the third quarter comes, it switches over, and it comes down to the last few, last drive, last few plays. So results in hands, the CFP playoffs were really good. But still, there's something in the back of my mind. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe because I went to school with Tallahassee. There's still like a bias in my mind. It's like, what did FSU do wrong? Like, they didn't win enough. They didn't win enough. Like, they didn't win enough to earn. And to me, the only thing I can lean on is the SEC bias, right? A loss for me, and we could talk about why that is so, or why they think it is. But to me, like, it's a SEC bias where a SEC loss is better than any other conference win. And, I think regardless of who's playing quarterback, whatever, right, you want to reward people for the season. The merit of doing your job and winning games, you should be rewarded for that. You should be on the highest stage. Like, if you're a good team, and, we'll see, because next year is going to change. Obviously, I think they're including more teams. It's going to be 8 teams going in the playoffs.
12.
Yeah,
12.
12.
12.
So obviously there'll be more teams. I think it's gonna be closer to fairer. Kind of like a I would love to see like a March Madness style kind of playoffs where I don't know how they'll work out with scheduling because going in the fall, coming into spring. I mean, there's 2 semesters there. I don't know how that will work out with scheduling and stuff, but yeah, there's just something in the back of my mind that's like, damn, FSU. Regardless if you think they're good or not, it's like they did their job. Like,
Yeah.
you want them to
And,
win 14 games? Like, what do you want them to do?
I was leaning on that side early on with you, Gabe, right? But obviously, like now I'm kind of like think outside the box. There's more to it than just record. I mean, you got a team, Liberty. Sure, we all heard of Liberty. I think it was Liberty that won defeated.
Yeah.
Do you think they belong
No,
in the
that school
playoff?
is a private school.
Well, I'll say
And
that
I get
I'm
conferences.
with.
I understand. And we also had UCF a couple years back. That was their national championship. They won defeated. They didn't get to the playoff as well. But for FSU, right? I mean, do you think that this game against Georgia was their game to kind of like prove us wrong, or they did the right thing by sitting out their players?
As far as FSU, I mean, I think it's fine. Like that comes down to individual players. So I'm never gonna get mad at a player making an individual decision. If it's a coach's choice, that's one thing. But guys not wanting to get hurt, for a game that they feel they got robbed. I mean, to each their own. Like I'm not gonna be too judgy with that. I'm sure everybody has their reasons for it. Overall, and in general, just because I honestly just like to play. I like big games. And so all these bowls, whatever, Pop-Tart bowl, Cheez-It bowl, potato bowl,
The mayonnaise
bowl, whatever the fuck
I
bowl.
don't know if you saw that. The
Tax Slayer Bowl.
I honestly don't care about any of these shits. Like, it's fun for the team that you're rooting for. Obviously, like FAMU. I went to FAMU, so they won their SWAC. They won the SWAC, and then they went on to win the HBCU National in Atlanta. So that's fun for me. But I don't put any weight on all these bowl games. There's just so many of them. Like, these are all commercial things. I just want to see the best teams play the best, and that's why I like. I put more weight, I guess, on the CFP, and I want to see the best teams play the best. Like, this year, I guess, is an L. They're obviously, like I said, they're going to increase teams. Next year is going to be closer to, I think, fair, more merit-based. So, but I'm fine. As far as FSU, I'm fine with players deciding that they don't want to play, to each their own. Like, they're under no obligation. It's not like they're obligated to
I would say it is really disappointing. My bad, Julian, real quick. Yeah, because how hard it is to go undefeated, and you can't take that for granted. Like, this is their one shot, because who's to say next season, they lose 3 games, they lose 4 close games, or however you want to say it. Like, you're losing people in the draft. Who's to say they can recruit the same and have another successful season, right? And for them to miss their opportunity just because the committee thought they didn't have the best talent on the field because they had a backup quarterback and didn't even give them the opportunity.
Yeah. No, I'm with Gabe. I think it's bullshit they didn't get in. I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't Cincinnati from last year. Like, this is a Power 5 conference team. This is a team who won a national championship maybe 6 years ago. This is a team that no matter any other year, they would have got recognized in. I think it's absolute bullshit that you don't get in. Like Gabe said, it's like, what else do you want these kids to do? Like, they went completely undefeated in a Power 5 conference, and I get that Alabama beat Georgia. I understand. But Alabama still has 1 loss. And if you want to put any merit into the regular season, you have to reward the teams that are performing well. Let the undefeated teams get in. I don't care about strength of schedule at the end of the day, because what in other sport does that really matter? Realistically, it doesn't matter in any other sport except college football. And it's one of the things that really bothers me deep down in college football is that it's all about this weird, arbitrary, who we feel like, this weird algorithm that they have to put together. And it's just like, it becomes this just like weird. It's not even really a meritocracy. It's like whoever has the most money and all this other shit. And it's just like, I get that's what
differentials,
and that's where
power rankings they make up.
And that's why I say that
dominance.
That feels like the bias. There's like bias. It's like eventually, nations rise and fall, empires rise and fall. Like, eventually, Alabama's got to be bad. Like, I know they've been on this meteoric rise. They've been good. Nick Saban's the best college coach in the history of college coaches.
They
But
lost.
at some point,
Like, I mean,
they lost, and at some point they're going to be bad, and they shouldn't be being rewarded for 20. Like, if you're not the best team now, I understand you've been the best team for the past year. If you're not the best team now, you shouldn't be able to get in. I'm not mad that they got in. Like, it just sucks to me. It just sucks for FSU overall.
and it's stupid too, because with that logic, Georgia has gone how many games in a row undefeated? They lose one game. Should they still be in there?
Yeah.
Like, if anything, Georgia's beat Alabama multiple times throughout the history. It makes no sense. So it's like, if you want to compare one loss to one loss, like, what's the argument for Georgia not being there? Just for the fact that Alabama lost early in the season? It's like, come on. Like, I don't know. It's stupid. I do think the 12-team playoff is going to help a lot, but I still think that it's always going to. I think 12 is better because you have a little bit better understanding. Because once you get past 12, it's like, are they really deserving at that point? But I still think you're always going to have those conversations. It's just going to get pushed further back. Where he's like, well, they have one loss, they have two losses. It's going to.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up. I'm like, don't you think we're going to, I mean, it's going to help, of course, but we're still going to have these conversations of who got snubbed. It's going to bring up a bigger conversation of these fraudulent teams getting in who are going to get bulldozed by some of these power teams, depending on rankings, which it's going to happen regardless. I don't know. They expect close games in a playoff every single time. Like, you know what I mean? Like NFL, any given Sunday, like anything can happen, right? So I think they're overthinking, getting too critical on just creating the perfect game and the perfect matchups when the deserving teams should be there.
Well,
I know you guys might.
I think we're talking about two different things. Like, we're talking about a product. You were talking about games. You want to see good football versus good football, and then we're talking about like the product. Did you want to? Who's gonna to watch the thing? I think that's almost two different things. And like I said, that's when the bias leans in, and that's when I don't like it. I like it better on meritocracy. Like, you line up. Whoever wins at the end of 45 minutes.
I get the Cincinnati question because it's like, I mean, Cincinnati they weren't a Power 5 conference. And the only reason they got in is because they went 3 years in a row, just absolutely obliterating everybody at their level. But I know you guys might roll your eyes at what I said, but it's like, honestly, like if there's any system that can embrace like a European football system, it would be college football. It'd be perfect. It would literally fit so perfectly. I wish they did. It would never happen, obviously, but I can always fantasize. I mean, man, that would be honestly just like a promotion relegation type of thing. Like you knocked out of the top 25, you're fucking out of Division I. Like it would be awesome if they did something like that. But obviously, it would never happen. But with the way it stands, it will always be down to these weird algorithms and stuff. But I'm with I'm with Gabe, dude. Florida State, they got robbed. Like it's insane. A team that has won national championships, that plays some of the best teams in the nation, to not get in is blasphemy to me. Like it's insane.
I hate the strength of schedule argument because they're like they don't even create their own schedules. Like what the fuck? They have no control over who they play. Like I don't know.
They do.
Well, they're pretty planned. Like the administration, the director. You can look right now. You can find the 2030 schedule for a fucking No, but I'm saying a game at home and a game away.
Teams decide who they play.
Yeah.
In a sense, because like the smaller teams. So like certain colleges will pay. I don't know which way it goes because I don't know the details of it.
Visiting team gets paid.
Okay, yeah, the visiting team gets paid to bring like if you want Alabama to play your college, you pay Alabama to come play you, or vice versa. It's like it's just a scummy fucking system. And it's one of the reasons I can never get into college. It's just such a scummy fucking system, everything about it. And it's like, dude, like you beat up, like I'm looking at Alabama's schedule, beat up fucking Middle Tennessee,
UNLV, Monroe, Louisiana Monroe,
56-7, and like what? And then they beat USF, University of South Florida, 17-3, and it's like, well, what about that? Like, I mean, come on, like I don't know, Chattanooga. I didn't even know there was a college there. Like, I mean,
is Miami-Dade College MDC over there?
MDC,
yeah, they're gonna start putting community colleges. Austin
University.
Where Gabe, is that your school? Austin P?
Hey man, I'm just saying, look out, because I'm wearing a tour shirt. They say come out attack by Lewis trying to make it down to Miami.
Dude, you know how much money
FIU. Who's winning?
You know how much money Vanderbilt probably pays to be in the SEC, and they just get dog walked. Every year.
Well, I think there's money sharing. And
within the conference, it's TV contracts, and they just make money for just getting their shit rocked.
And that's what I want to talk about too, because we've had this conversation about now the conference is moving now with entire schools going, and I think it was Brian Kelly that brought up that football should be independent. I think that was an idea that I was kind of interested in. I didn't know the all
European football
mechanics of it. Football being independent, so like you still have your school rivalries, UCLA, USC, whatever conference, whatever. But football be separate because it's a whole nother industry that should be separated from everything else.
That's the European system. That's what I'm saying. Like just getting rid of the conferences and all this other. It's just like I just think it's dumb. Like it made sense back in the day, but it's like now like these colleges are fucking billion-dollar fucking industries. Like. These guys can fly wherever the fuck they want. They can do whatever. Like, what? Stanford's going to play in the ACC, the Atlantic Coastal Conference. Stanford's going to play, and they're literally on the Pacific Coast. So it's like,
and so in that crazy way, like a team like Notre Dame, they're like prime because they've been independent so long. Even though they're kind of ACC, but they're just independent. They can do whatever the hell they want. I think that's the perfect model going forward. But I wonder how it's going to mix up with this now. The CFP being 12 teams and big ass conferences. Will more teams try to go independent? I know FSU's trying to, right now they're trying to get a lawyer to get out of their conference, ACC, which is going to be impossible. There's going to be so much money. It's going to be so much money to just get out of it. Like, it
doesn't make sense. It just seems like an outdated system. Honestly, It just doesn't seem like you need conferences anymore because. Obviously, I don't think it'd fix it, but I think eliminating conferences could potentially help the idea of balancing of schedules in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Maybe you figure out a new algorithm to like have certain colleges play each other based on their rankings or some shit. I don't fucking know.
But and then it's also weird because if you have money sharing, let's say everybody in this conference gets paid the same, right? We have one money deal or money spread evenly. Then you'll get teams like Rutgers being like, or Rutgers getting paid the same as name another big school, football school. Like, are they the same? Are they bringing equally the same amount of viewers, same amount of as far as like school capacity, viewership? Is it the same as like an Alabama? Should they be in the same conference or like should they be equated? Just because they're in the same kind of thing, and it all looks messy. I'm just kind of waiting to see how this all plays out.
So I know you briefly talked about it, but let's talk about the bowl games.
Yeah,
like there's clearly an issue with the bowl games. Bowl games aren't what they used to be. They're honestly terrible now, and I guess like I'll go with you, Jojo, because Gabe kind of gave his thoughts a little bit earlier. But like, what is your thoughts on like the bowl games as a whole, with what's going on with players sitting out, shitty teams getting into bowl games, and all these random ass bowl games that teams are getting into that don't deserve? Like, what's kind of?
So actually, I was going to ask you guys about that. I kind of want clarification because I do have somewhat of an understanding what these bowl games are. But one, why are there so many? Two, what qualifies to be a bowl game? Is that like a conference championship? Like what is a bowl game and how do you get in? Just break it down.
Gabe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's essentially just an exhibition match between two colleges that I think they kind of agree between to be in it. So
yeah, sometimes you can get
throughout
out of it.
the
like,
years.
You can be like, I'm not going to that bowl.
Throughout the years, there used to be very little. So like the ones that are just like traditional names, like what used to be the Gator Bowl, the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, like those were your classic bowls, like because obviously before playoffs, there's the 1 and 2 seed went at each other, the national championship, and then everybody else played in these big bowl games to kind of prove, maybe we should have been better or whatnot. But over the years, it's turned into this like stupid ass kind of like marketing gimmick with like everything has some stupid sponsor to it that just, to me, I personally feel like it lost a lot of the prestige of it. And it's like, how can you be motivated to go play in something that was just invented that's called like the fucking sweet and spicy chili Dorito bowl? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I mean, like, it's just weird. And bowls used to be, not everybody got into it. It used to be a very,
and that's what I remember. Like, I remember you had to fight your way into a bowl game. But
you can go fucking 3 and 10. You can go fucking 3 and 10 and get into a bowl game, and it'll be like some Duke mayonnaise bowl or whatever the fuck. Like, it's just like it's turned into this weird ass marketing ploy for like the Gator Bowl, like which was a big thing in Jacksonville as a kid. Like it's part of the reason why we even have the Jaguars to this day, was because the Gator Bowl was received so well here. Now it's called like the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. And it's just like, you don't even see Gator Bowl anywhere. You just see fucking Tax Slayer like everywhere. And I think a part of that has ruined this prestige. But I mean, that's just the nature of, corporate America or whatever. But it's just, I think just a lot of undeserving teams kind of getting in and just trying to find ways. And I mean, my stance on it is like, I don't blame players for sitting out because why? Like, why? Like, to me, it's an exhibition match. Let the season end where it ends. If they didn't make the playoffs, they didn't make the playoffs. The season's over. Like, why play in this exhibition match? I know a lot of people think what I'm saying is probably like fucking blasphemy to get rid of the bowl games, but like, why? No one wants to play in them. Like, there's so many of them that they're just like these weird, pointless things. I get that they used to mean something back in the day, but like, it doesn't mean anything now. Like with the way with NIL and all this stuff, and then getting ready for the draft. There's like, I don't blame Florida State for sitting out 30 players. One, probably because they're pissed off because they got robbed, which I think they did. And secondly, it's like, why play in this? Like, why risk entry? A lot of those players are going to be looked at going into the draft.
Yeah.
Or their transfer portal.
Or the transfer portal. Why risk this for an exhibition game that doesn't mean anything? It doesn't mean it. This isn't like basketball or soccer or baseball or whatever. Like, this is a very dangerous sport. And I think people forget, like, this is a dangerous sport where people hurt every fucking day. These players hurt every day. Why risk yourself for something that you don't get any fucking money for, but yet everybody else is making fucking money because there's fucking corporate sponsors out the ass? So it's like, I don't blame them.
Yeah. So, JoJo, so they have 6. They call it the New Year's 6. Those are the big bowls. That's the ones that we see from the CFP,
Yeah.
like Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl and stuff. And obviously they switch positions. So this year we had Rose Bowl first, and then we had, I think it was the Peach Bowl, or Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, that was in Louisiana. Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, Sugar Bowl, yeah.
And it's just the top team. So it's run by the NCAA. So they're obligated to put on these games, right? They have, obviously, the NCAA gets sponsors, and they're like, oh, you own a fucking tax company, tax insurance company, here, tax insurance bowl. Oh, you own a fucking AC unit company, AC unit bowl.
Pop-Tart Bowl was lit.
So, teams have to bid for it, obviously, or teams can not go. So, but a lot of times, like I said, it's these shitty no-name teams. They're like, if they're getting TV money, maybe you've never seen these teams on TV. They'll take the money because that's, they can put that into the program for next year. That goes to spread money around, maybe for the other programs for the school in general. So that's why they have all these bowls. That's why I was saying I honestly don't care. I care about the CFP, the big names getting into the Final Four. But these other bowls is like, it's just commercial. I mean, it's an NCAA commercial for whatever company that they try to put on. So.
It just feels like a dog and pony show to me. Like it's just like this weird thing, that's shit that no one watches, no one goes to these games, and yet like people get upset when players sit out, and it's like, would you play in it? Like, I mean, you're potentially risking so much. Like, I mean, who knows? But yeah, man. So Gabe, I mean, what do you think? How do you fix it? Do you think you just eliminate it, like what I'm suggesting, or you think there's like a way that you've thought about of like what you would rather see?
Here's an interesting thing. I don't know if this works or not. Okay, this is not a fully fledged idea. Don't shame me. What if we have bowl games the next year for the next team? So you have all these players sitting out, they're not playing, so you're not getting a great product. What if you reward just like, hey, you're guaranteed a bowl game next year. So all the players leave out, whatever, they can leave. Once you lose, whatever, if you're not in a CFP, then we know that never see you again. That's it. You did your season, 12, 13 games. You're done. But you reward the players coming up next at the beginning of the season. This is the idea I heard. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. It puts, usually teams in the beginning, they have a warm-up game. They'll bring some shitty team like Bethune-Cookman or some name. They'll bring Nova Southeastern or something to warm up. And then they'll play a big game. They usually don't play a big game in the beginning. But what if you make it like a spectacle in the beginning? You still get TV money revenue. It's still exciting because, obviously like your team is rewarded with like TV. It's still the same TV money. It's just changing the schedule, putting it at the beginning of the season next year. It's like you're kind of having a
part of the regular season,
part of the regular season,
or is it like, or would it be a exhibition like it is now?
No, part of the regular season. You got a bowl game. This is your bowl game.
Not a terrible idea.
And you still have it offsite.
It still just feels like
you want to set the tone, and obviously you have something to fight for.
It makes great excitement in the beginning of the season. You have an early game, maybe not the week 1, maybe 2 or 3, or you know what I mean, some other, something like that.
I guess I could see that
non-division, non-conference game.
Because let's say, all right, Florida State plays Georgia next year, right? Say they didn't play this bowl game. They play each other beginning of the season next year.
Yeah.
That's a game that they wouldn't have normally had, but now they have it, and now they can use that to their advantage in this strength of schedule thing.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Crossover. It's kind of like, That's not a bad idea. Again, I haven't fully fleshed it out. I don't know all the details of it. It's an idea I heard. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting.
Honestly, that's outside of just eliminating it. That honestly sounds like the best idea because it seems like, you're rewarding the performance of what you did last year by facing teams that are. But then I guess you still come in the issue of like, all right, the team got rid of everybody and then they end up sucking next year, which happens very frequently. But I guess if it's a team like Georgia that's always fucking good, that's just, no matter what, they're always going to be good. Georgia, Alabama, Florida, whatever. I guess it is a good thing, but I could see maybe at scale, maybe some other ones. Like we're using this we're using this Georgia, Florida State example, but
other teams.
I don't know. What about these other ones where it doesn't mean it may not mean anything? I don't know. I do think it's part of the history, but it just kind of seems like something. It's like we're trying to save something that maybe people don't.
Of making it meaningful, then I think it works because obviously if you put in a regular season, like every game counts, right? So I mean,
you have a playoff game. Seriously, you have a playoff game in your regular season.
If you have an option towards the end of the season and the regular season's over, you didn't make the playoff, and they're just throwing an extra game at you, and you're like, fuck it, like no, I'm not gonna play. I'm getting ready for the draft. Like no, I'm good. Like you seen what I did, the entire season.
Yeah,
I don't need to play one more game to prove it. So
I don't know. I mean,
just
an idea I heard. I didn't come up with this myself. Just an idea I heard. I was like, that sounds interesting.
That's the best one I've heard. I'm still on the board where it's just like, let's just get rid of it. Like we don't need it. I say keep the big ones.
What about?
Because at the end of the day, the big ones.
What if there's like just?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
6 to 8 meaningful,
like it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. They kind of do it now where it's like the big ones kind of rotate of what they call that playoff game. Like the Rose Bowl would be like I don't know what it was this year. I can't remember. Gabe, I don't know if you remember what the 2 semifinal bowls were, but sometimes like they'll make those bowl games into the playoff game, which maybe they do that with the 12. You maybe get rid of all the other nonsense, which I don't know if they ever will because it seems like easy sponsor money. But maybe you just get rid of all the other shit, keep the core 6, I think it is, and all those are going to be your playoff games instead of having to alternate, which is what they do now. Because
then you'll be multiple bowl champions if you run your way through the bracket. Then you won like 3 different bowls.
If you count it like that, I was just thinking like you just name it that.
I was thinking
get like
that,
a trophy or nothing. Like,
I was thinking that, but if they're gonna give them the title of the bowl game, which that's actually not a bad idea. But then it's like, I won Cotton Bowl, I won the Rose Bowl, and I won the Orange Bowl, all in one playoff.
It's like getting the treble.
Well, no, again, you're delaying the game. So what your team did last year, you get rewarded with the bowl game the next year. So it's the new people that are.
No, what we're talking about.
He was just thinking about
making the bowl games,
12-team bracket, and each matchup will be a bowl game.
The bowl game, which is kind of what they do now. Yeah, but they have to alternate them out because there's only so many playoff games.
But again, not a bad idea. But then you're gonna have somebody claiming to be the world champions, and they won 4 bowl games in one season.
I don't know. College football is, I think, will always be a mess. I think it's just part of the lore of it.
Monday in Houston.
I guess let's I mean, I gave my thoughts on the national championship. What you guys think? I think I have Michigan. I think they looked good. I think they played possibly the better team in Alabama. They look strong. I think it's finally their year to get it.
I mean, they have one of the best defenses in college football, but look who's on the other side.
Yeah.
Look, like that explosive offense and a quarterback like that can't get around that defense.
I like that Michigan running back. I think he broke the record, the school record, whatever, for touchdowns, single season touchdowns. He looked really good. But here's the thing with Michigan. them being in it all. I was like, are they gonna vacate this? Like, I don't.
Oh
think
yeah, because the cheating.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys too. Like, do you think there's gonna be an
I
asterisk? Well, it's an
well,
open
that's the thing. I think
investigation.
so. I will
It's
say
literally
this.
open. So
I think Michigan will win, but I'm rooting for Washington because I don't like anything fucking cheating, and it's hard the way they treated that whole thing. Oh, he gets suspended from a game where basically he's just going to call the plays from somewhere else and just have him not be there. It's like it's fucking God. It's just.
I mean, with today's technology, you can literally call your plays on your couch.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm saying.
And you can. He's working from home. Like that's it.
It's
and you know, I don't know.
wasn't he there? He was at the bowl. He was at the fucking game.
Oh no, I'm thinking about Connor Stallions. Connor Stallions was at the Rose Bowl. He was at the game. He shaved his head.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about.
I don't know. I was talking
the head coach of Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had the funniest season. They had the guy crying, the coach, I did it for you, coach. I did it, I love these guys, man. The weirdest fucking season. They had the N-word. Oh no, they had Hitler. They had Hitler on the stadium, stadium trivia. Weirdest fucking season. And I don't know. My gut feeling is now they're not going to do that. If anything, they're going to hurt. You know, the coaches, the staff. No, I don't think they hurt the players. But they took fucking Reggie Bush's Heisman away, so I don't fucking know. I don't know what the hell is gonna happen.
They need to give that man his Heisman back. I stand by that. Give that man his fucking bullshit. Yeah, because he didn't go into your free slave labor, basically.
But yeah, I think both as far as like matchups, I think obviously Washington. I think they have a better offense. Like they're more consistent offense from what I saw. I'm trying to think of like what my takeaways on their defense, but. Offensively, like they're productive. They move the ball down the field. Like they're really good. Michigan as well. Like I said, I like their running back. I think Michigan might have slightly better defense. It should be a fun game. But like that's just in the back of my mind. Like what the hell's gonna happen if something comes out of this investigation?
All right, honest question: did FSU have a chance against Michigan?
Probably not. Okay. But guess what? They earned. I agree. I don't want to repeat it.
They earned their way.
They earned their right to lose.
I just want to talk matchup. I want to talk unbiased matchup.
They earned their right to lose, but then also is a bunch of cheating. So it's like how I mean, I don't know. And
they earned their right to lose. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, it should be a fun matchup. I think I'm a root for Washington. I like purple. Purple's my favorite color. I'm a root for Washington. How about that?
I'm down for Washington, man. Like that's a team you never see.
True.
Hey, Michigan had plenty of chances. Michigan had plenty of chances, and then it took them to cheat for them to finally be a favorite.
Is freaking Harbaugh gonna be their head coach next year? This guy apparently on Twitter, Adam Schefter, saying he got Don Yee, sports agent, representing.
Yeah,
him.
I'm literally looking at it now. Like an hour ago, people are saying that he's
honestly,
leaving.
We don't know. This is literally still an open investigation. If they find proof that they actually cheated, like this whole thing could be rescinded. Like people, we're like they haven't really spoke about it because no one's come to conclusion on anything yet. No. But they're still being investigated. They're about to be the 2017 Houston Astros.
And that's what I said. Like,
the sad thing is like, it's going to be an asterisk, but like, no one's going to care. Like in a couple of years, no one's going to care. Just like Houston, like no one's going to, like people are set at it. They don't like it, but they're still national.
No, trust me, baseball, and I'm not being biased as a Yankee fan, but in baseball, if you actually pay attention, Houston gets booed in every fucking.
No, I get it. No, but what I'm saying is, they're just gonna be laughing at the bank. Like they're just I just feel like it's so like I don't know. Like I feel like taking a trophy away. It's like it sucks, but it's like.
Do you feel like
we're still champions?
Do you feel like the nation is going against Michigan in this? Because I feel like they're still oddly the favorites. Like people kind of want them to win.
Yeah, Michigan is I guess more historic, obviously, than Washington. I think
it's just a big it's a big name.
It's a big name.
I feel like no one is rooting against them in terms of their cheating. Like I really haven't heard anyone say, yo, fuck Michigan, I hope they lose because they're cheated. Like I feel like people are actually rooting for them to win.
And I think the sense is like I said, if anything happens, I don't think they're gonna want to penalize the guys, the young men who are actually playing the games. I think it's gonna be more administrative, more in the school. Like y'all are gonna be banned from bowl games for like the next 10 years or something. It's gonna be something.
They're gonna play in the Duke mayonnaise
suspension.
Bowl.
Is it, what do they call it? The death sentence. They've been trying to get Miami all the time for the fucking death sentence.
No, they should get them. They should they shouldn't be able to participate in the playoffs. No. They should they should be revoked their privilege just like any.
Give them the trophy this year. Like that. If they win, give them the trophy.
Then revoke them from playoffs. I don't give a fuck. Revoke it.
If proven guilty.
Allegedly. But no, I firmly believe like Astros, they should have been eliminated from the ability to participate in the playoffs.
Bro,
like I don't take the
fire everyone, suspend everyone.
Yeah, I say
it's crazy.
I think eliminating them from the playoffs the following year, the ability to make the playoffs, means more than like taking the trophy.
Yo, imagine winning your division and then second place takes your spot.
Exactly. Like that shit would hurt way more. Like I just feel like, but they're not going to do that. They're just going to get a slap on the wrist, maybe a fine that costs them absolutely nothing. It's just a drop in the bucket, and that's kind of the end of it. Harbaugh goes to the NFL and he makes $10 million a year.
Like I think
that's what's going to happen
if they find some hard evidence. Like, because I think they can look objectively. Like, you can find numbers on the shit. Yeah. Like, if you want to talk about the Astros, you can find numbers. You can find Altuve's numbers. Him hitting at home when he's hitting like 400, and him when he's hitting away, he's hitting like 150. You're like, okay, something's going on. If they can, I think there's quantifiable numbers to show that obviously Michigan improved. But like now it's gonna come down to like hard evidence. They get fucking text message of like, yes, I am at the stadium. I am recording. I ain't giving signals. Like, like some dumb shit like that. I mean, I think if I'm saying allegedly, I think they have him like credit card statements of him buying tickets. I think Connor Stalions buying tickets like with Venmo and shit, or they have some kind of record. They already have a financial record. And now they're looking for fucking video records. If they have like text messages and shit, I think it's over for Michigan.
Let me ask you something. Do you think he cares that they remove stats from him? Like if they were to move stats from your career, you think they
who cares? The school cares? Jim Harbaugh?
Person. No, I'm talking about like I guess we're talking about Altuve. I was just thinking in my head. I was like, if you remove the stats, like or even like Barry Bonds, like you remove those home runs, like
they went out the stadium. Can't take it back.
Barry
it's not like
Bonds
Spider-Man.
Is still the greatest hitter. I don't care. You can take anything away from Barry Bonds. I will still believe Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter to ever grace this planet. That is incredible.
To actually do the job, 100%. Because he
you can take everything away from him. Everybody will always know Barry Bonds was the fucking guy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think there's a difference. Okay, cheating is bad. Don't cheat, guys.
Now we're getting into steroids. That's a whole different.
Okay, pay your taxes.
Well, they called it cheating. That's what I'm saying. Like
cheating. Don't cheat. Don't cheat on anybody. Don't cheat on your girl. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your taxes. Don't do no cheating. Okay, take your tests the right way with your brain. Here's I think the subtle difference.
We gotta quote that.
Performance enhancers, not supposed to do them. Everybody was doing them. That was just the era. That was the thing. It's like the cocaine era. Everybody's doing crack. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and we all enjoyed it. Listen, we all saw the home runs. Bro, I was on the TV. I was watching Sammy Sosa.
Look, sometimes a little crack tastes good. You know what I mean?
Hey, crack is whack. Okay, crack is whack.
He was like, "Hey, look, everybody did it. It's okay. It's okay." So everybody can have a little bit of fun.
To me, that's the era of baseball. Whatever. But to me, we're talking about Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds. You can't tell the story of baseball without Barry Bonds. I'm sorry. The excitement around the game, the media coverage. That's like you're trying to say.
It was the most. I believe it was the most exciting time in baseball history. Watching that race people who didn't watch baseball, from what I've heard from like old relatives and like family friends and people who were around, I was so little, I don't really remember like that. But a lot of people say it's like every day people had Sports Center on, seeing if they hit every day on ESPN.
Watching the race. We're watching the race.
It was watching the race.
They literally drove attention. This is like, to me, like if you watch WWE, the fucking Attitude Era, like they literally drove ratings. Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, this was like Stone Cold and The Rock. Like people were watching this shit at the time. So you can't. So for Barry Bonds,
Mark,
I feel like he comes from the area. I was gonna say I forgot his last name. Mark McGwire. So when it comes to baseball, I just feel like Barry Bonds, that was the era, that was the thing. It's not one thing, he was the only one doing it. Everybody was doing it. That's one thing. The thing with Connor Stalions, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh is like, it's literally on the book. Like they say literally, you can watch tape or whatever, but what he literally is doing is like black and white in the book, you cannot do this. And the fact that, like I said, if they already have financial statements, like he's fucking using his credit card, they have Venmo or whatever the fuck, and now they just gotta they're fucking taking videos and they're fucking crossing them over, and they got you fucking without glasses, you with glasses, and they're doing that shit.
Like fucking,
bro, it's over for you.
What's it called? National Treasure. Checking the hidden text in the Declaration of Independence.
So again, to make my point clear, like to me, it was like in baseball, it was like the unspoken thing. So Barry Bonds, it was the unspoken thing that everybody was doing. This was like clear, black and white. You fucking broke the rule straight up. You know what I mean? So that's why I think like Michigan, if everything comes out allegedly, springing allegedly, if everything comes out to be true, like I think it's over for Michigan. Like
I almost wonder if people are okay with it just due to the nature of what college football is. Like just due to the fact that it's like, well, they're going to be one of the best teams anyways. It's like it's not necessarily a balance. College football has never really been a balanced thing. That's not why people watch. It's not like the NFL. And I wonder if maybe that's the reason why more people are not like, possibly be more okay with it.
It's FIU doing it, and FIU got better. Like you're talking about a freaking Power 5 school
that's been top 4 for like.
Who you don't need any more competitive advantage over anyone else at this point. Like you're there. You're not like a small. I don't know, like FAU.
I mean, they've never been able to get the job done, though.
To the playoff, you know what I mean? And you're doing what you got to do. Like, bro, you could recruit. You have top draft picks available. Like, you have amazing coaching. Like, you have funds for your school. Like, you're in a huge university, a well-known university.
They needed to just get over that hump. They've been going to the playoffs, but they can't win it. Maybe they just need a little bit of.
It's true. It's true. I mean, this could be the year they do it, and if they lose, what are they going to resort to next to get over the hump?
Yeah, and can we talk about overall like my level? So my level of interest in college is like, because I'm an NFL fan, so I'll watch more NFL games. I watch more NFL games of teams that are not my team than I will watch college. Like me, I'm a root for UM. I'm a root for my FAMU. That's when I went to school. FSU because I have friends there, and I kind of know the school, familiar with. So there's like 3 teams in college I might root for, but I'm not sitting up watching games fucking Hawaii. I know people do that because they sports bet and shit. Like in general, I don't have a huge appetite for college sports. So, like, if fucking Rutgers and fucking Louisville...
Let him cheat.
Like, who fucking... Like, honestly...
I don't give a fuck.
I do, like I said, but, my overall interest is, like, I want to watch the CFP. I want to watch good football. I want to watch one good football team against another good football team. Let me watch good football and, see, whoever's going to win the Heisman. Who are the top draft guys? We know Alabama's top draft. Georgia's going to be they have great linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen. LSU, great receivers, great, whatever. Like, I can see the young talent from college, but it's just because I love the NFL better. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, my interest is more in the NFL. I honestly don't care about college. Like, who, like I'm sad about FSU, but it's not really. Like, it's whatever. I just want to be entertained. Does that make sense?
No, I'm with you. I've never been a huge college guy. To me, there's a big quality difference. Like not so much when you get to like the college playoff realm, but like if you're just watching like, I don't know, like mid-tier teams, it's a rough watch, man. Honestly, it's not as smooth. It can kind of be all over the place. And honestly, it's just not a meritocracy. It's just kind of all over the fucking place. I just don't like the idea of like all this strength of schedule and having to vote people in and then all this stuff. And then like the schools with the most money get all the best players and all this stuff. It's just kind of like all, I don't know. It just feels like there's no like structured system that like keeps things like in a way of
what I think. I mean, it might be easier to manage NFL 1 because you only have a certain amount of teams. College, it's like infinite amount.
I don't think infinite. There's like thousands of schools, maybe
different divisions, and I'm agreeing to your point. And there's gonna be so many like factors that play into your quality of play, like how big is the football scene, how much money does the school have, how's the recruiting, how's the coaching, et cetera. You got kids coming out of high school.
I understand. Yeah. That's because that's how, and that's why I think that European football model makes so much sense because that's the same way. It's all open. There's not a league. Like there's thousands of hundreds of teams. different divisions, but it all makes sense because as you get better, you're going to get into higher and higher thing. You work your way up, and it makes sense. And you kind of have it here, but you have to go like 5 years in a row of absolutely obliterating your conference, like Cincinnati and UCF did, to like get a bid to even go into like the Big Ten. And it's just kind of like this all over the place. But I get why it's popular because for so many regions across this country, they don't have professional teams. So all they have is this college football team. It is their community, which is the same way in Europe. There's no college sports isn't a thing, but like this little local team, like that's your fucking team. Yeah. And you're going to go hard for it. Yeah, that is your professional team, even though it might be like Division III fucking soccer or whatever, football or whatever. Like that's your fucking team. That's your community. You're going to follow it. So I think because college has they have that, you kind of fall into they rely a lot. To me, I think it's a lot of reliance on like culture and like communities more so than like the actual talent and like the idea of like how the system is ran.
Yeah,
because it is kind of our pastime. It's kind of like it's.
But I think the system, Julian, you're talking about setting up. I think it's harder for college just because it's less games. Like I said, there's thousands of schools. There's less games. I understand there's more community, but I don't think college football, where it's in a season, it's only in the fall, is the right sport. It's not like a year-round sport like soccer or something. Or that.
No, I mean it works. Like it would work the exact same. I mean they do the same thing like Euro League or what basketball and this. I don't think it would ever happen. I would love it to happen. I think if there's any sport that can make it work, it's college football and college basketball. I think it could work in that too. But what I'm saying is I think the reason why college football is so popular for so many people is because of it's like your little community thing. Like you went to that school, your parents went to that school, you grew up, I don't know, fucking 30 minutes away from it. You know? Yeah. It's like, this is like, we're fucking Iowa. Like, like it's like you got nothing else.
Nothing else around.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I've never been a huge college, and maybe because I grew up in an NFL city. So like, even though college football is massive in Jacksonville, Florida Gators and Florida State and Georgia, like I'm in like that triangle of like college football. I've always just been more of a NFL fan, but maybe my mind would have changed if I grew up in a college town and around that. Because I mean,
yeah.
But I think the NFL is just a better product. That's what I hate. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I cannot stand when people who love college football, they say NFL players don't take. It's like I like college football because they take it more serious. I'm like, what? Like, what did you just say?
Bama's beating up on your Appalachian State 60-0, and
and the thing too, and it's like, what? You mean to tell me the NFL, the place where the average NFL career is 4 years long, that these people aren't trying hard? That there's thousands of other motherfuckers trying to take their job at any moment and they're not trying hard? I never understood that argument. I heard it a lot growing up and I used to believe it was a thing. But then as I got older, I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about?
No.
Of course they're trying hard. There's a guy snipping on your fucking heels trying to take your job to make $3 more million than you are. Yeah. Like, what? Of course they're trying fucking. It's a job. Do you just like half-ass your work? Like, you can't if you're a fucking NFL player.
I mean, these contracts don't sign themselves.
Yeah. And I'm not obsessed with points. Some people, and I guess it's kind of like we see it in like, we're starting to see it in baseball and basketball and college, and even in the NFL where they're trying to like raise the points and the totals scored because it's entertaining. I've never really been, I don't care about points, honestly. I just want to see close game. I don't care that I don't find say like an NBA game, like 140 to 130. I don't find that any more entertaining than a college basketball game from like, that's like 95 to like 86. To me, what makes it exciting is the fact that it's close. Like, so a lot of people like college football because of that. Cause like, oh, I want to see 55 to 52 shootouts nonstop. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. I just want to see a close game. Like, I don't want to see a snooze fest. Don't get me wrong, but like,
well, what about even if it is a snooze fest in terms it's a low scoring, but that doesn't mean it's not a high quality game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even in baseball, if you have two pitchers dueling and it's zip, hey, we want to see 10 runs. But on the other side, you're looking at, historic pitching matchup, right? On the other side. So
I'm assuming that these leagues have thought about, obviously they're doing it intentionally, like making like NFL artificially high scoring and NFL artificially high scoring, baseball too, with now like the pitch clock and the defensive formations.
Yeah.
In the
bigger
infield.
bases.
I get that I get that they're doing for more action, but like I wonder if that really does make a difference. I mean, I guess they did a lot of studies, so they would know more than I.
Well,
but I'm really curious if like more scoring really matters. Baseball, I will say baseball I think is a little different because it's more so the length. They're more so worried about the length of time than they are about the amount of points. And I think it's about getting the game moving
fast.
Like basketball, they're clearly trying to like want to see more scoring and more scoring. Same thing NFL, like protecting quarterbacks like crazy.
Well, I mean, NBA, not to jump from sport to sport because we're like, we're
talking about as a whole,
yeah. But I mean, NBA, I mean, the game's changed. Like everyone's shooting threes, so you're gonna see, the score jump up to 140s and 150s compared to early 2000s. I mean, that's just
there's a lot of rules that have been changed that to make it artificially high scoring, just like we see in NFL with like protecting quarterbacks, pass interferences, and all this other stuff.
And your boy Brady started that, and he doesn't want to take the credit, and now he's blaming everyone else. So,
but let's get back on track. Speaking of the NFL, let's talk about JoJo's homeboy. The coolest guy that he's ever hung out with, that is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has officially been benched, and I guess it's safe to say officially done with his time at Denver after...
Done? I don't know if he's officially done.
Dude's gone.
I think
Sean Payton.
They don't want him.
Sean Payton says he's done. Russell Wilson is like, if I'm Russell Wilson, I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here. And I'm like, man, could you imagine giving up that much shit for him? Was it 3 first-round picks and then a bunch of other shit? Who Noah Fant and fucking
I think 9 total players,
Drew Lock,
like the picks. Yeah, Drew Lock, Noah
all
Fant.
that for a bum.
And what is it? 34 million.
Yeah, he's doing like 34 million a year, fully guaranteed. It's like, man, all that for a guy to like play average, slightly above average at best.
I can agree with the average now because obviously this was a complete 180 compared to last season, and we already discussed a million times what happened last season. You blame the coach, you could blame front office, you could blame Russ, you could blame injuries, you could blame it all. They turned it around this year. However, I do agree that it was still average for our expectations and how much he's getting paid. He improved drastically, but I feel like to cut him off this early. And Sean Payton, you just got to the team. Like, respectfully, who the fuck are you? Like, why are you making these calls? And you came out of retirement.
I don't know about that,
shitty situation, bro. No.
Talking about a Super Bowl champion head coach.
Yeah, man.
Man's came
one
off
of the best
couch,
head coaches of our generation.
He's about to coach the Dolphins.
And decides to bench my boy. Listen, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, so I think the news article, JoJo, I was trolling JoJo, we haven't talked about it earlier. I think Adam Schefter put out that there was some problems. Was it Adam Schefter or was it somebody else? Was it
I think it was Adam Schefter. I think it was, I don't know who did it first. I mean, this is all the same guys.
But obviously I think it came out that he was going to sit out. And then it came out the news that it was over contract negotiations. They wanted him to modify his injury, like, because he has guaranteed money if he gets injured. They wanted him to modify that, and he's like, if you don't do it, you're gonna sit. And he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And they sat his ass down. With whatever 2 games left in the season, and it looks like it kind of in a tough. I guess
was Denver already eliminated at that point?
They know.
Yeah. So this happened when we lost. Well, yeah, it was an official.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember that.
That's the game I want to get into because I was extremely disappointed. Like I was upset watching that game. We had a 53% chance getting in the playoffs. We lost. It went down to 5%. So we weren't mathematically eliminated yet because we needed certain teams to lose, and then we still had to win out. Last week, even though we won, we were mathematically eliminated because certain teams had won. So now we are eliminated. But at that point, when they decided to bench him, we were not officially eliminated yet. But our fate was in other teams' hands at that point because we lost to the Patriots. So we shot ourselves in the foot losing that game.
Yeah, it's just a messy situation. I mean, it's just one of those, like, I had a feeling no matter what, like, if you're a Denver Broncos, you just can't continue to go on with him. He clearly wasn't going to be good enough to do what needs to be done. there's a lot of good talent on that team, and he just wasn't living up to what he expected. And honestly, things are. I mean, shit. I'm starting to get a lot more respect for Pete Carroll right now because what the fuck he's doing with Geno Smith and what they're doing in Seattle. I mean, shit. What are they going to make the playoffs? I have to look at the. I can't remember the
I think
NFC
they're still
side.
in the hunt. NFC.
I can't.
I think they're
Yeah,
still.
I can't remember the
still in
NFC, but they've been competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More competitive than the Broncos had.
They have.
And it's kind of like the opposite situation of like the Brady Belichick, where it was like, well, who was really pulling strings? Now Brady left, was successful. Bill Belichick, this is the worst I've seen the Patriots since I could remember. Like they're terrible. They're awful.
Yeah.
And it's been years.
They beat
And
us,
so
so.
Quick note: Seattle Seahawks. They're tied 8-8 with Packers and Saints, but they have a tiebreaker over the Saints right now. And let me see who the Seahawks play this week. They play the Cardinals.
So they're competitive. Yeah,
at the Cardinals. That should be easy to win for them.
Yeah, so they're competitive. They're in it. They're moving. Yeah, I mean, from the jump, we even like Sean Payton, like with the whole like, what are you running for office and all this other stuff. Sean Payton clearly never liked Russell Wilson for whatever reason. To me, that was almost kind of the writing on the wall just in the beginning of the season. Clearly, Sean Payton just wanted to see potentially like what was there, but you could tell he was never his guy. And it was just kind of all over the place. So I don't know what they do going into next season. One thing I know for sure is I think Russ is gone. I think Sean Payton's going to do anything imaginably possible to get rid of that.
Yo, but here's my thing with Sean Payton. Like, what's his commitment to Denver? Like, you come out of retirement, like, are you there for the long run? Like, are you there for 2-3 years? Like, what is your purpose there? Like, do you actually care about the team in the long run going to a Super Bowl? Or you came in an opportune situation and you thought you were going to turn things around this season and you guys were going to make the playoffs in the Super Bowl?
Yes, but I think no matter what, you still have to have conversations if it's worth keeping Russ around. I mean, say he doesn't come in, you bring in a young guy who's supposed to be there for the long haul. Russ still does the same thing he's doing now. I mean, look, this is the same Sean Payton that reinvigorated Drew Brees' career and had one of the most successful quarterbacks of our generation running like, and he wasn't able to fix what Russell had back in Seattle. So I think you still have that conversation of like, even if Sean Payton's not here for the long haul, it's like, I think there's still conversations to be had if Russell Wilson's to stay there.
And my thing is, so if you actually watch the games, I know looking at numbers is a little abstract to watching the games. Russ, I feel like he shouldn't be getting this blame. I think they're more worried about what he's making in terms of his production. Like they wanted Patrick Mahomes star level production for his contract. Our defense turned it around when we had that 5-game win streak and then won like 6 out of 8 games. But if you saw the last 2-3 games that we lost, aside from the Texans game, because that was all on Russ. We had the game-winning drive. He threw a pick at the end of the game, and we had 1st and goal, and that was all him. You could throw that at him. But if you saw that Patriots game, I mean, we dropped a kickoff. They returned it for a touchdown, brought them up 2 touchdowns. Russ came back, had 2 scoring drives, and we converted 2 2-point conversions. Now, Sean Payton called a timeout for the other team, stopped the clock. You know, where's the controversy on that and the coaching and the play calling?
I'm with you. No, I'm with you on that. I still think that it still comes down. I just don't think Russ is it. I just don't think he's it. Like I get what you're saying, but I think Denver should be looking into trying to find the next option because at the end of the day, he is getting older. He's clearly not showing to be that level to look. You're in a division with Justin Herbert and fucking Patrick Mahomes,
and we beat them. We beat the Chiefs this year.
Yeah,
we dominated the Chargers this season, and we still have one more game against the Raiders. So if you look at our division record, I'm talking for this season, we've broken barriers that we didn't do in the past 7 years.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes is going to be here for the next 10. And I'm just thinking, like, you got to battle it out with them every single year. And I've always liked Russ. I thought he was solid, but Russ is always a guy. He was always a guy that had a really fucking good team around him, which made him excel. And he was never a huge stats guy. If you go back even in those best years he had in Seattle, he was good at throwing touchdown passes and deep balls, but he was never a guy that consistently threw over 300 yards and was getting like 4,000 yards in a season. It wasn't happening very often for him. I don't think he's bad. I think he's probably going to get another starting opportunity. I just think with all the bad blood, I just think with the back and forth, they clearly don't have a strong relationship, and the front office feels like they're not getting what they want. I think it's just in best interest for Denver and for Russell Wilson to just move on and just get it over with.
That's crazy. That sounds crazy to me. They've invested so much with his acquisition. Like,
yeah, but just because you invested in something, are you going to keep it around just for the sake that you invested for it, knowing that it's not going to help?
If I went and bought a fucking Ferrari, it was a bad deal. I'm gonna ride that bitch till it runs out of gas.
No, you get rid of it, Gabe. You get rid of it. That's a terrible example. You get rid of it. You don't keep it and pay that $2,000 $2,000 monthly payment.
Ride it till something.
No, you get rid of it and try to. You get rid of it. You try to get what you can get to get back. Like you just got if you can get a couple picks back. Like for us, like
but here's the thing. Here's my thing. Maybe Joe, you hear more rumblings more. They believe in Sean Payton more than they believe in Russell Wilson. I would think
that's what I'm saying. I feel like their commitment is now to Sean Payton,
who just got there,
who just came off.
I know Russell Wilson just got there, but at least he has fucking bona fides.
Off his couch and try to be the savior. And now they're all looking at Sean Payton. That's how
Sean Payton got the answers.
They're giving Russ the boot for the coach.
Dude, I don't know.
That's why I asked. What's his commitment to the team? What do we owe Sean Payton? We don't owe him a damn thing.
Yeah, but Sean Payton is a proven coach in this league for the past like 20 fucking years.
Who retired? Like he had his
time. He retired. It wasn't like
he's done.
It wasn't like what's happening with Bill Belichick where it's just he's slowly fiddling away. This is a guy who was playing well. Like
he didn't go out on shot. The Saints and Drew Brees and his dead arm. He was done together.
Brees was dying,
they were both done. We never seen Sean Payton after Drew Brees.
But Sean Payton built Drew Brees. He built that Saints team. Saints were nothing for decades. Saints were never anything in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and then he came in 2006 and turned that team around. And I think that's what Denver's hoping. It's a certain culture that he built and now New Orleans has been competitive since Sean Payton got there. New Orleans has always been competitive.
Right, and I guess we're talking about the past, and I understand that. That's like saying, okay, Bill Belichick did
JoJo. It's been 1 year,
and that's,
the guy that wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's been one season with
that Russ. He was gifted players. He was gifted players he didn't choose.
Yeah, but
not necessarily. Like I'm not. I'm just giving. I'm trying to show you guys the other side of it. Like this is a guy who was gifted. Like whether Sean Payton's the answer or not, I don't know. I think getting like 1 year is like a little crazy. I think this is a guy who's proven, who's won things, has been successful in this league. I think give it a couple years. Like you got to remember, the first year he's gifted all these players. Like these are players he did not choose. He's been given.
He chose that situation. He chose that situation. He was at home. He chose that situation.
He knew what he was coming into. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can't change everything overnight. Like regardless, like you got it. You can't just like clean house immediately.
That's my point. Is that Russ had an improved season. See where it can go next year instead of just trying to make all the decisions right now because you don't like what's going on as a first-year coach, that just came back out of retirement. And you saw what happened last year with Coach Hackett and how terrible the Broncos did. So actually, this was a turnaround. We weren't supposed to go 12-5 this year.
Yeah.
Granted, we had the talent and potential, but that goes along with the coaching and the players and the management, the whole nine. Like I watch almost every game this season.
But I also think you might be caught up in the name because look at our.
I was looking at his production. Look at his numbers. Is what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is look at our boy Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, I say, is having a better season than Russell Wilson and is making like what 1/30th of what he's getting paid. Like at the end of the day, you have to think of what you know, what you don't have, and what you can get back. You have to try to get whatever you can to get out of Russell Wilson because he's clearly not worth all this investment you put in. Try to get what you can get back because you can find a serviceable guy like a Baker Mayfield who was able to be serviceable enough to fucking Tampa's probably going to go to the playoffs. And that's not a very good team. Like,
and here's my thing, because this all sounds dumb, right? When we heard the big ass trade, the situation should have been plug and play. When they got Russell Wilson, it should have been plug and play. They had all the talent, all the potential there. Russell Wilson comes in, instant competitors, instant playoff potential contender, whatever, Super Bowl, whatever. The fact that you invested in this team, I think, is more on the management. Like, you guys invested all this money in this trade
the management
to get this guy there, and then you bring a guy 1 year, he has one bad year. Okay, everybody know, we all saw it. He has one bad year. Now he has an improved year. Like, all right, fucking get rid of him. It's like, well, why the fuck did you make that decision in the beginning? You made that decision 2 years ago. 2022 is when you made that fucking trade. You made all these picks, all this accommodations, whatever. Like, fucking ride him out. And now Sean Payton gets here. You'd rather listen to his word. He's just been here for 1 year than him. Like, I don't know. It's to me, it seems silly. It sounds like a messy, like, front office situation.
Yeah, it was because you got to think who made that decision was the front office. There was no coach involved in what happened there. Nathaniel Hackett went into that situation. I think management was trying to get that done. Nathaniel Hackett just wanted a job, and then I think Sean Payton thought there could be an opportunity to maybe fix it. Then he went there and was like, this guy just doesn't have it anymore. And I don't think he does have it.
So you trust Sean Payton to go into the draft and get another quarterback besides Russell Wilson? Because you're saying we're talking about Russell Wilson in the past.
Is
like, I'll take Russell Wilson right now. I'll take him on my team right now.
He's not worth what you're doing. You need to get what you can get back. There's dude. Like I said, there's quarterbacks out there that are playing at the level. Look at fucking
but that's so now we're talking about but now we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about talent wise, his talent to be a quarterback. Is he good enough? He's like a top quarterback. Let's say he's not top 5, top 10. Let's say he's a top 20 quarterback in this league. Is he a top quarterback? Is he going to be better than a draft pick, than any other draft picks that came out besides CJ Stroud? He's amazing.
I don't know. There's no way of knowing.
So you're saying because what you're about to say is Russell Wilson is not, for the amount they're paying him, he's not good enough. Look, I'm saying he's good enough to be a quarterback. So that's a management. That's money business management for an office situation. That's not Russell Wilson's not talented to be a quarterback.
But you have to take that in consideration. You can't just ignore that. You have to take all elements into it.
They're a bunch of dummies in the front office. What do you want me to say?
That's what I'm saying.
They did that. Now, Sean Payton, you can't come in and be like, maybe we paid this man too much and I want to bench for someone else. Bro, like you said, Sean Payton was a proven coach. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. I know he's not playing in the same system he won the Super Bowl, and he went to 2 Super Bowl appearances. He's proven himself. I agree with Gabe. I say give him another year. We improved our defense this year. Dude, who the fuck is blaming us of Russ playing against the Dolphins and we lost by 50? Like, bro, we still put up 20 points. We revamped our defense ever since, and we won games. And then our defense backtracked, and we lost more games, especially the most crucial games where we should have beat the bum-ass Patriots to get into the playoffs.
I just firmly believe, like, bottom line, Russ is not good enough. He's just not.
Good enough for what? To get to the playoffs? Good enough for his contract? Yeah, good enough to be a starter? Like,
at the end of the day, he could probably squeeze you in. The end goal is you want to win a Super Bowl, right? You want to compete for the division. You want to win a Super Bowl. I don't think Russell Wilson is good enough for all those. And then you add into the fact that you gave up all this stuff and it costing all this money for average play that you can get off somebody on the street. Like, why not get what you can back out of what you got rid of?
Hey,
I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield is. Would you rather have Cam Newton or Russell Wilson right now?
See, and now this is the game I was about to play right now. This is the game I was about to play.
Would you rather have Cam Newton off the fucking street making $900K a year?
Russell Wilson.
I'd have Russell Wilson. Give me Russell Wilson.
I think they play.
I've seen him.
I think they would play the same.
That man got no gas in the tank.
All right, now you're jumping back on a Baker Mayfield train because he's had some great games, and we know that. Is it enough to win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
All right, so let me play this game.
That's why I think why waste time? Just get a guy. This is a good quarterback draft. See what you can get. I think Russell Wilson's older now. Why not go after a guy that could potentially compete with all these younger guys that are in the division long term? I think Russell Wilson.
Herbert has 0 playoff appearances.
He has a playoff experience. He has no playoff wins.
There you go.
What I'm saying, he's still extremely young, and he's a talented quarterback. At the end of the day, you still have you have to compete in this league. There's a lot of good young talent, especially in the AFC. And if we're talking about just the conference as a whole, I mean, we talked about, look at Miami. They're going to be good for a long time. Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, Jacksonville. Houston's going to be good.
I know
Houston's going to be good. Fucking like all these teams. Like, do you think Russ is better than all those guys? And he's going to have to be.
Oh, but look at the teams we beat. We beat Mahomes this year. We beat Josh Allen this year. We beat the Browns this year. Like, we have some heavy hitters on our belt that we
look, Joe. I just want to let you know, man. I've settled with mediocrity. I don't want you to settle with mediocrity.
Hey,
I know what it's like to defend a guy who's not that good. Like,
I'm not trying to hold on to Russ. What I'm really trying to, we don't have any options at this point. It's like you have.
Oh, the season's over.
In general, moving forward to next season, I don't want to take 5 steps back. We haven't made the playoffs in 8 years. We have some potential here. We have young receivers. We have a young defense. Revamp our defense, and work with Russ. Work on his opportunities. He can get you into the playoffs, is what I'm saying.
Let Russ cook.
He can get you.
All right. So let me ask you this: say Russ drops the same exact stats next year, and you get into the wild card, and then you lose. Do you keep him still?
What's your options? That's my next question. What's your options?
There's always the draft.
Who's available?
And there's always
so
who knows who's going to come out of college next year?
Not the same situation because T-Law doesn't have his max contract or anything yet. Let's say you
what are you talking about?
I'm going to your quarterback now. And I know it's not the same situation. You go ahead and you lose this Sunday and you give up your division title. Do you lose hope in him and go back to the draft and get another quarterback because you haven't made the playoffs at all with him?
First off, yeah, that doesn't correlate at all. Trevor Lawrence had a better season than him.
What I'm saying, you're giving in hope. I know he doesn't have a max contract. You just picked him up from the draft. What I'm saying is,
what I'm saying is it's not the same because 1, Trevor Lawrence played better. 2, he's like infinitely younger. He's like 22. Like, you're talking about a guy in Russell Wilson who's much older, who has some wear on his tires, and a coach that doesn't like him. Like, they don't like each other. What recipe? That's just a recipe for disaster.
Coach chose the situation.
Why do you think
the front office
the coach chose the situation?
So you got to get rid. You either got to get rid of the coach or Russell Wilson. But who's going to want to play with Russell Wilson? No one's going to want to coach over there.
I mean, listen, there's a few teams.
Look at all the best teams: Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Mike McDaniels, Tua, John Harbaugh, and fucking Lamar Jackson, like Sean McDermott and fucking Josh Allen, Doug Peterson, Trevor. Like these are. Why do you think he didn't work in Chargers? Why do you think he didn't work in the Chargers?
Right? T-Law's rookie season. Who was their Who was their coach?
That was what you call it? They had Doug Marrone, and then they had what's the guy?
Urban Meyer, not a proven guy.
Who did they get rid of?
They got rid
Urban Meyer.
They got rid of Urban Meyer. All right, so there you go.
Because what are you doing, dude? You're comparing Urban Meyer, one of the worst, to a Sean Payton, who is one of the best coaches to ever coach in the NFL. Like, you're comparing like apples to oranges, dude. Like,
if he wanted to rebuild, why didn't he stay with the Saints then? If he didn't want to rebuild, he thought it was a plug. To me, it looks like a plug and play situation.
Bro, Doug Peterson didn't go. He got fired from the Philadelphia Eagles and then took a year off. Like, maybe he thought he was done, and then once you leave, a lot of players come back. Look at fucking Jordan. A lot of people think they're done and they come back.
To wrap this up, I might be biased, but this season, I personally, because I watched a lot of games, I did not have any bad blood with Russ. Maybe that's why I'm defending him. If this was last season, hell yeah. I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? But this season, I feel like he improved overall. We had deep shots to the end zone. Yes, he didn't throw for 300, 400 yards every single game. And yes, we had to rely on our defense as well. But that's Broncos history. Like, we always had historically great defenses as well. So
what's his ceiling?
But I personally... I mean, we've seen him play. Like he's
more hopeful.
We've seen him win a Super Bowl. Like, we know he can ball, right? There's, like you said, there's a lot of other quarterbacks in the league bouncing around. What's their ceiling? Like, you keep throwing Baker Mayfield's name.
I'm talking about draft. What I'm saying is the same production you're getting from Russell Wilson is no different some production you potentially could get. Look at Gardner Minshew's balling his ass off in fucking Indianapolis. Like, he's not doing anything special to make it worth what he's doing. I'm just thinking long term, like, look, dude, we talk about coach and quarterback relationships all the time. This is clearly a relationship that's not going to work. And
hey, listen.
And Russell's
Julian,
older, like he's just like,
Julian, if I'm sitting at dinner table and you come to my table and you're like, I don't like any of this food, you think I'm gonna get up and leave? I'm gonna say, no, take your ass wherever the hell you came from. Go back where the fuck you came from. I'm having dinner, baby. Let my man cook.
First off, you don't think Denver did anything possible to try to get Sean Payton out of retirement? The same way they did everything possible to bring Russ over. You think Sean Payton just walked on their door, knocked, to say, "Hey, y'all hiring?" No,
I think Sean Payton.
They threw the kitchen sink at him to get out.
Sean Payton wanted the easiest thing. This man was about to come play for the Dolphins until they got sued. He wanted plug and play. So he said, "Oh, Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion, MVP. I'm going there." He thought it was gonna fucking be easy. He doesn't want to. Like I said, if you want to sit around for a rebuild, he's like, "Oh, I don't like my quarterback. Why don't you stay? With New Orleans with the Saints? You have a history there. You've been the coach there. That's where everybody knows you from." This guy wanted a plug and play situation. Shit got hard. And he's like, wah, I need another quarterback. What is he going to do? What is your? My thing is, okay, you don't like Russell Wilson? What's your next option? What are you going to do next? Like, who's your backup? You think Stidham is the future for the fucking Broncos?
No one's saying the future, bro. There's a whole ass draft coming. Like, you don't know.
Well, what I'm saying for Sean,
if you're relying on mediocrity to get you by, he's talking. Look, and I don't want to say Russell Wilson.
He's going to go through a rebuild and go through the draft and try to see in the next 5 years. Is that Sean Payton's goal? Is that what he's going to do? He's going to sit and wait, like a Trevor Lawrence, who was, like you said, one of the best draft picks for potential in the past, I don't even know, years. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that.
Hey,
well, I understand.
If Sean Payton wants to do a fucking rebuild, go to the Chargers. Go to Carolina. Why don't you take that job?
You never know. Look at fucking Bill Belichick. He drafted Mac Jones. That didn't work out. But Mike Tomlin, they drafted Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett ended up being pretty solid. Steelers were still able to be competitive. You never know. What I'm saying is there's still a ceiling. We know what Russell's ceiling is. He's even this season is the same shit he's been putting up for the past 10 years. He's not doing anything special. We've seen him for 10 years do the same shit. And I'm not saying that he's bad. He had a good season, an average season by Russell Wilson standards.
He's above average right now. He's not top 5 in the league. But guess what? How many of these top 5 quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl?
That's what I was going to say.
Patrick Mahomes?
No, I know. So Patrick Mahomes and who else? Josh Allen? Dak?
Well, I don't think Dak's a top. Whoa, don't be throwing in Cowboys quarterback. But I think Dak is better than fucking Russell Wilson.
No, I'm agreeing, but how many of them won Super Bowls?
I mean, they haven't been in the league as long as Russell Wilson. And none of those teams had the Legion of Boom, one of the best secondaries in NFL history.
Hey, real quick, Julian, this is what I want to do earlier. Who starts? Easton Stick or Russell Wilson? Who starts?
Well, but you can't keep things in a vacuum, dude.
Who's better?
Russell
Who do you want to be your quarterback? Okay.
Russell Wilson's, but things isn't
Las
a vacuum.
Vegas Raiders. Who starts? Aiden O'Connell or Russell Wilson?
I don't even know fuck who Aiden O'Connell.
Exactly.
Las Vegas Raiders. That's in the division. Who starts? Jarrett Stidham or Russell Wilson? Who do you start? Who do you trust to go to the playoffs? Jarrett Stidham or Russell Wilson? There you go. I'm not even gonna talk about. I'm not gonna bring up. Those are all in division competition. Obviously, I'm not gonna bring up Patrick Mahomes because we know Patrick Mahomes.
Gotta stop looking at things in a vacuum.
We beat them. We split with them.
Bro, he's a starter. He's a starter on his team. He's a starter in the fucking division. Besides Patrick Mahomes, like I said, I kept that name out.
We're not talking about now. We're talking about next.
You saying you want go to the draft and get somebody else? Like who else? Who else? Give me a name.
Herbert injured again. Young talent. 0 playoff wins.
Oh my god!
Doesn't mean a thing.
If Sean Payton has the guts, he'll go to the Chargers before Bill Belichick.
Go have fun. Go have fun with your 15 and 20.
If he has the guts, he'll go to Carolina.
Russell Wilson.
He'll go rebuild in Carolina if he has the guts.
All right, go have fun with Russell Wilson when he throws 12 passes in a game, 100 and fucking 80 yards.
Whoa, he has 8 interceptions on the season with 24 touchdowns.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not saying
not
this is
saying
a
he
Russell
played
Wilson
bad.
MVP year. It's not a Russell Wilson MVP year, but I mean, it's improved. It's better. It's still year 2. I say stick with him. You're gonna stick with. I'd rather
All right,
stick with my
Gabe.
year
All right,
3
Gabe.
guy than
What-
you're stick with my year 2 guy
Gabe,
and Sean Payton.
why didn't y'all keep Ryan Tannehill?
We seen him.
Why
We
didn't
seen
you
him max
keep
out.
Ryan Tannehill?
It's just like Garoppolo. We seen him max out.
What the fuck is Russell Wilson? Yeah, Tannehill should still be on this fucking team.
Tannehill
didn't
doesn't have
play
a
that
Super
bad.
Bowl. Tannehill doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Tannehill also didn't have the Legion of Boom and Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, that died. That died many years ago.
Exactly. How long ago was that Super Bowl? We're in 2024. That's got to be 10 years ago.
Richard Sherman's on
Like,
TV.
dead
So
ass.
that died a long
That's
time.
dead ass. Richard Sherman on TV. What's his name in jail? Isn't there one of them in jail or something like that? I don't.
Is Bobby Wagner still playing? I think he's still in the
Well,
league.
somebody had domestic violence. I think it was Isaiah Thomas. Was it Isaiah Thomas? No, Isaiah. What was the guy? The other safety's name? Earl Thomas. Didn't he have like a?
It might have been Earl Thomas.
I might be out of pocket with that one, but I thought he had like
I don't know.
a sexual
Hey,
assault.
man.
Thing. I don't remember.
Hey,
If he didn't, I'm sorry. I don't
we're not
I don't know.
If he didn't, I'm sorry. But maybe I'm
we're
thinking.
not saying he
of
was on
player.
any list or
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
look at Ryan Tannehill. Why didn't you stay with Ryan Tannehill? Why didn't Tennessee stay with Ryan Tannehill? Because he was a ceiling. We know what his ceiling is. Russell, he's not
All right,
getting
would
better.
you have
He
Russ
is
or
what he is.
Tannehill?
They're the same.
They're the same.
That's why I disagree with you.
Wow.
Well, no, I think Russell Wilson's better.
All right, so I'm like, come on, bro.
I'm not messing around yet. Russell Wilson's better, but I mean,
Let Russ cook.
dude, he's not like blowing us out of the world. Like, I don't get this idea that he's blowing us out of the world, that he's amazing.
Listen, before
that
you
we
get rid of
should
option
keep
one,
him.
give me
I'm
option
not
2.
saying he's amazing. What I'm just
Yeah.
again sorry for the viewers and listeners that we're
going in
back and
circles.
forth.
Yeah, we're going to trivia.
I'm going Russ versus our coach, and who's making decisions around here. All right, and who has who cares about the team more? Like Sean Payton. I'm sorry, I know he's a great coach, historical coach, changed his franchise. From a fan looking in, right? Russ had the improved season. And now you have this new coach who apparently just doesn't like our quarterback for whatever reason. You come into this situation that you decided to and chose, and now is trying to take control of everything when you've made coaching mistakes all season as well. You literally called timeout for the Patriots when they were playing for the tie, and I can say
Russ ain't called no timeout.
that cost us going to the playoffs. When Russ had 2 drives, got us a touchdown, and converted 2 2-point conversions to get us in that situation. And if he did not, you would hear the Russ slander. But when we needed him, he came in clutch.
So Jojo, we'll end it here. Let me ask you this. Do you believe Russell Wilson can lead with this team next year? Do you believe Russell Wilson is going to make your team a Super Bowl contender and that they're going to be a legitimate title shot and they're going to win Super Bowl? If not,
Playoffs.
why keep?
Playoffs.
Playoff.
Player. With
Oh,
Patrick
you get
Mahomes still there.
bounced.
Listen, we were this close this year, and we saw what happened. That's all I have to say.
And what it got bounced? Let's be real.
It depends who you play against. We beat top teams this year.
Look, man, you play to win Super Bowls. You play to win Super Bowls. This guy's you clearly said that you do not believe he can win you a Super Bowl.
Playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Do you
Hey, let's
believe
close
he
it
can
out
win
here.
you a Do you believe he can win you a Super Bowl? Give me yes or no. Not playoffs. Give me yes or no.
Playoffs.
That's a no because he won't answer.
Playoffs.
That's a no.
Our defense can lead us to a Super Bowl.
All right, let's wrap
All
it
right.
up, Julian. Give us a
Trivia
trivia so we can get
time.
out of here. We've been out here for a little
We got
bit.
8
We gotta close it
questions. All right, pick a number closest 1 to 10. Gabe,
out. 9.
Andrew.
2.
All right, Jojo.
2.
I have 6, so it's Gabe.
Damn.
All right, Gabe, we're going to start off with a little college football since we talked about that today.
Damn,
and we're going to
I
talk
don't
about
know
some
shit about
NFL playoffs.
Go ahead.
All right. Which quarterback won the national championship for both Ohio State and LSU in the past 20 years?
Ohio State and LSU?
Yeah.
I know Jalen Hurts went to Ohio State. Joe Burrow. Not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's LSU. Ohio State. I'm gonna go. Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know college.
He's in the NFL.
Who was LSU and Ohio? The only person I know went to Ohio was Jalen Hurts, but he was at Alabama. I don't know.
All right, JoJo, your chance to steal.
Damn, if Gabe couldn't get this.
I don't know college, bro.
You said LSU and Ohio?
He won national championship at LSU and Ohio.
And he's currently playing. Is he a starter?
And the only LSU guy I know is Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but Burrow transferred
He
to
didn't go to
LSU.
Ohio. See, I don't know all of his history. Maybe he did.
LSU.
All right, give me an answer, JoJo.
Give me an answer quick.
4, 3,
get
2,
Jalen Hurts.
1. No, it was Joe Burrow.
Damn! I didn't know he was at Ohio State.
He did not start. He transferred to LSU because
See,
he
I didn't know
start
that.
at Ohio
Yeah,
State.
I said he transferred to LSU, but so he won a championship?
They won a championship that year.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
while
that.
he was on the bench.
I did not know that.
See, I didn't know that. I was like, I don't remember him playing for Ohio State.
He has
but,
two.
Yeah, no one remembers. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
That's
JoJo,
pretty
this
good.
one's for you. Who was the first team to defeat Alabama in the semifinals of the college football playoffs?
Ooh, I know this.
This ranges from 2014
Clemson.
to now. No. Gabe, your chance to
Oh,
steal.
wow.
Georgia?
Incorrect. It was Michigan. It was this game. It was the first time Alabama lost a semifinal college football playoff game.
Wow.
Wow. It's pretty good.
All right. Gabe, who has the most college football playoff wins and how many times was it?
Most college football wins?
Playoff wins.
Playoff wins. I'm going to go Tim Tebow with 12.
Playoff wins. The playoff era.
Oh.
He's talking about Tim Tebow.
Oh, I think about
Tim Tebow.
who has the
Playoff
most wins? Who's the winning?
You're talking school or player or coach?
School. Like
Oh,
which
that's
college, and how many times did they win? You can guess.
I'll give it to JoJo. I'll give it to JoJo.
All right, JoJo, go.
Bama.
Okay. How many times?
How many playoff wins or how many titles?
How many playoff wins?
Considering like semifinals and finals?
Yeah, how many playoff wins? Yeah. This is a 2-pointer. Come on. Hit it from deep.
12.
No, it was 9. But I'll give you 1 point. It was Alabama has the most college football playoffs wins, and they've won 9 times in the college football
bias,
playoffs.
man. That's that bias we talk about.
Yeah, I definitely overshot it with 12. My first guess was going to be 10.
All right. Gabe, when was the last time Michigan won a national championship?
Oh, there's been a man. I'm gonna go 2014.
JoJo?
2014.
Both of you guys are incorrect. It was 1997.
So they lost in the final that
Washington
year
State.
when they beat Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they lose to?
What do you mean? I don't know. I mean, I just got the last time they won. I just got.
What was that year?
Question it. I just got the answers.
What was that year?
Julian's like, no follow-up questions.
No follow up, please. All right,
Minus point.
Man,
all right,
that's
JoJo.
what I know about
this
college
is,
football.
This is NFL now. Which quarterback holds the record for the most losses in an NFL playoff game?
Who's lost the most?
Yeah, who's lost the most in the NFL playoffs?
In the playoffs.
It's 2 people, so you get a point if you get one of them. You get 2 points if you get both of them. They're tied.
Who makes the playoffs every year and loses?
Who goes to the playoffs the most times?
Oh,
What team?
can I guess? Can I skip Gabe?
It's your
No, I
turn.
thought
No, it's your
Gabe-
turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's
No,
my turn.
JoJo, it's your turn.
Oh, my bad. Tony Romo.
Dallas Cowboys.
Incorrect. Go. You have a second option? Do you have a second option, JoJo, real quick?
Yes. Phillip Rivers.
Incorrect. Gabe. Yeah.
I was going to the Vikings. Do you have to name a quarterback or just the team?
Yeah, you can't just throw a fucking team out there.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go. Fucking.
I said which quarterback holds
Brett
it?
Favre, but not for the Vikings.
You got a second option?
Green
It's
Bay.
incorrect.
Green Bay. Brett
No, not. Can't just... All right, you guys aren't gonna get it. Surprisingly, it is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. They are tied for losing the most career playoff games by a quarterback
they've been in
with
it so
13 losses. That was my hint. Don't think about losses. Think of how many times
they made it. So I was thinking that I'm like, there's no way it's Tom Brady because I feel like his win percentage is like 80% in the playoffs.
Well, that's why I said Brett Favre because you throw so many goddamn interceptions. I'm like, the guy's got to lose a lot.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So Peyton Manning and Tom Brady makes sense.
I would have thought Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning lost a lot of times against Tom Brady in those years. All right, so Gabe,
he just had to throw subs at Peyton Manning.
Which rookie quarterback led his team to a Super Bowl victory before turning 25?
Super Bowl victory before 25, the youngest?
No, which rookie quarterback?
Rookie quarterback. Say it one more time. Rookie quarterback, Super Bowl 25.
Which rookie quarterback led his team to a Super Bowl victory before 25?
Damn, I was going to say Patrick Mahomes, but he was like in the year for 3 years. He was in the league for 3 years. Damn. Who am I thinking? Super Bowl winners. Fuck, I'm thinking the Raiders, the Giants. Oh, I'm going to go the other Manning. Brother Manning.
No. Incorrect, JoJo.
No. What?
He was not a rookie. That was a terrible game.
Hell no. Russell Wilson.
Correct.
Wow. I thought about
Russell Wilson.
I was like,
I mean, I'm giving y'all layups.
I thought about it.
I didn't get that wrong. I remember he won super early in his career and then made it back again right after.
All right. Which this is for you, JoJo. Which player famously intercepted the ball on the 1 yard line to win Super Bowl?
Oh, I think I know this.
I can tell you the
48,
team. I can tell you
49.
who they played against. I just don't know his name. But it was the Patriots against the Seahawks.
Was it Butler? Last name Butler?
50. All right, both of y'all get a split point. Yeah. It was Malcolm Butler and it was the Patriots and the Seahawks. There's your split points. So Gabe gets on the board.
Bang!
Half a point for Gabe.
Get that college shit out of here.
All right. This is the last question. Joe just pretty much got this locked up. But you can wager your points, but Gabe only has 1 point, so he can't wager much. He can't wager much. All right. Final question. Which city hosted the most Super Bowls?
Oh, this is easy.
Really? You know that? I didn't know that.
This is you.
Good.
Yo, imagine I get it wrong.
You, Gabe.
Oh, it's for me?
Yeah, this is your question.
I'm not going to say New York. I'm going to say...
Oh.
You've
only hosted like one.
I know. I'm not going to say Miami. I've never been, even though they have a lot. I'm going to go California. I'm going to go... Actually, no. Yeah, I'm going to go to California.
California?
I'm going to say the Chargers. San Diego.
What, bro? They just moved.
I know, but they're not in LA. I know, whatever.
They just built that stadium. What do you? Like they haven't had a team.
The San Diego Chargers. San Diego. So, San Diego City. Okay.
Incorrect. Get out. You know what? Just leave. JoJo,
just log out. All right. 11. Gabe left. All right. So I don't know the city, but I'm gonna say the state, and I'm gonna say.
You gotta give me the city. No,
bro. I'm gonna say the state.
No, because there's states with like 4 different teams. You can't give me
No, but I'm gonna give you a state that has one team.
Okay.
Arizona.
But they,
Incorrect.
yeah, I was gonna say they're indoor. I don't think
But they have a lot.
they don't have a lot indoor. What is it? New Orleans?
It is Miami. Miami has
Really?
hosted 20 Super Bowls. Yes.
I was about to say New Orleans, but I'm like, they don't have a lot of indoor. There's not really been a lot of indoor Super Bowls.
The season, it's always in the South. It's right in the second place is New Orleans, and New Orleans is like right behind them.
Right, I didn't
But
think
it's
it was
Miami.
All right.
All right,
Miami has
on your
hosted
list,
a ton of
I
Super
know
Bowls.
you said no follow-up questions, but how many does Arizona have? I feel like they have a lot.
They have a couple.
I think that stadium's relatively new. I don't know. Hold up.
Oh.
Let me see. Most
Well,
Super
I didn't
Bowls.
expect Miami at all.
Really? I've always known my entire life Miami and New Orleans. I thought you guys were either going to say Miami or New Orleans, but you guys didn't say
I know New Orleans hosts the NBA All-Star game like every other year. I know that.
All right, I'm going there right now.
Okay, here we go. I have it.
You got it.
Miami has hosted more Super Bowls than any other city with 11. And then it's not
New
giving
Orleans.
me the. Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tell you,
New Orleans is
with 10, Los Angeles 8, Tampa 5, Glendale. What's in Glendale? Is that
Arizona.
Arizona's hosted 4.
Yeah, Glendale, San Diego, Atlanta, Houston. See, yeah, San Diego's up there.
It's Tampa is
That was a good guess, dude.
yeah.
I didn't know
Honestly,
San Diego
LA.
was up there.
You got me with LA. I roasted you for LA, but like
No,
they hosted
San Diego.
a fuck ton in it.
Yeah.
He said San Diego.
But LA has 8.
Hmm.
Which a lot of it was in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they counting
host-
was Oakland?
Yeah,
was
they're
San Francisco?
coasting. Yeah, because the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum 67, 63, 73, 77, 80, 83, 87, 80, 99. I mean 93. So they haven't hosted a Super Bowl in like 30 years, which was just recently with the SoFi Stadium. But honestly, that was a better guess than I thought. I roasted you for that, but I'm sorry.
No, and I
New Orleans
feel like I guessed Arizona. I feel like they have a couple in the last few years, or at least last 10 years. They have at least 2 or 3.
I knew Tampa was up there. I knew Tampa was up there. It's
Well,
usually
now,
always
yeah.
the warm cities. San Diego,
Or
they
indoor.
haven't hosted one in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, or indoor. But usually, even so, they still do it warm because it's not just about the
flights.
game. It's also about
the events.
people wanting to do stuff. Yeah, all the events.
People not gonna do. You doing fucking throwing the football in the hole when it's snowing outside.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
Jacksonville's hosted one Super Bowl.
Imagine that.
Yeah. God, that'd be terrible. Anyways, end it off, Gabe.
That about wraps it up. 101 in the books. We'll be here next week. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the games early. We kind of put this out late, so we're hoping next week to get out early games. So we can talk about the playoffs as we head into a lot of teams in the hunt. That's JoJo. That's Julian. We appreciate all the downloads. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Happy New Year to everybody. We'll be here next week. Real Fans Podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out, everybody.